Hi, this is Tara McGillicuddy, and this is the ADHD Coaching Project. Real people, real coaching. Our first member that we are featuring is Angela. If you would like access to the complete first session, check out the links in the YouTube description.
I am Angela, and I'm in my mid-40s.
Okay, welcome, Angela. Angela is one of the core coaching members. So, what is it that you would like to focus on or get out of this coaching group over the next 6 weeks?
I think one of the biggest things I'd like to get out of it is follow through. I have all these ideas and I start the action, but it's getting it done. Having that follow through I have struggle with.
Okay. Do you find that you start multiple things and do a little bit on this one, a little bit on that one, multitasking?
Yes.
Okay. So, what I'm going to recommend is focusing on just one specific area right now in this coaching session. Let's choose one specific task, one specific project that you would like to focus on today during this coaching session. And can you name that?
Yes. I want to get I don't know how to say it. It's not just one word. I am taking a paralegal course and I'm having a hard time studying. And then when I have to take the test, I feel like I'm scattered and I just don't have enough time. So I really want to focus on better time management and follow
Okay.
through on this.
Right. Studying is somewhat of a general term. When you study, or what is your definition of studying? What does it mean to you when you study?
I am trying to take in what they're teaching me. I take notes.
Okay. So maybe memorizing what it is that what I'm hearing?
I'm trying to learn what I need to know for the test.
Okay. Yeah, no, I'm just trying to clarify what it means when you say study. And when you sit down and take notes, assuming you're focusing and you're taking action for 20, 30 minutes, whatever it is, are you finding that you are able to retain and understand the things that are on the exam?
Yes.
Okay. So this brand or the studying itself seems to work for you. So this process is working. So this is something that's good to know. So let's think about one of the last times you had the intention to study for this exam. What happened?
I keep telling myself all these other things that I need to do.
Okay. All right.
But it's so hard to stay focused.
All right. Now, is it just the things in your mind, or are there physical things getting in their way? Are there people distracting you? Are there things like that?
Not people, but that my house is cluttered. I'll walk
Okay.
from my office to the kitchen and notice all these other chores I need to get done, and that's even more stuff
Mhm.
going through my head. And I'm lucky if I can remember what the heck I left my office for to go get and come back and then get sidetracked on some other thing.
Okay. So let's think of a time when you were able to sit down and study for amount of time where it was helpful. Was there clutter, or was it clean
So
and clear?
nope, it was nice and clear.
Okay.
And
Okay, so part of your process, what I'm hearing you say, part of your process to you studying is having a clean and clear environment. So, studying for you is not just as simple as sitting down and studying. For you, part of the process, we could even turn it into a ritual or something like that, is having a clean, clear environment. And like you have one specific area where you're studying, correct?
yes,
Okay. Let's so it sounds like what you're saying is that area, it makes sense. You need it to be clean and clear. What about the other areas of your home? Will that impact it, or can you make do?
I can make do.
Okay. So, how long How involved is making your study area clean and clear? How involved is that? Like, I know you can't think of the time exactly.
Not a whole lot of time to clean. This
Okay.
is cleaned, so
Okay.
I don't
All
really have
right.
to do.
So maybe 5, 10 minutes or
Yeah,
okay. So let's add this to your study procedure, study, whatever you call it, that you are going to set a timer for, let's call it 10 minutes, just to start with. And that 10 minutes you're going to make your study area, whether it's your office, your room, whatever it is, as clean and clear as possible. And what it's going to do when you set that timer, and maybe even, I don't know, if, are you the type of person that music helps you with clutter or
yeah.
decluttering? Okay. So let's choose a specific song or playlist that's going to be your clean and clear playlist. So what's going to happen when you do this, you're setting the timer for 10 minutes. You're turning on that playlist. So the act of setting the timer, the act of putting on the playlist and hearing that music is going to put you into study mode. When that timer goes off, you're studying. So you're creating a new procedure, ritual, whatever word sits with you. But what you were saying, it was very important, is that you need this in you if you're familiar with me, I don't use the word need a lot, but this is something like breathing, water, sleeping. You need a clean, clear, peaceful physical environment to study. So let's add this to your study type of procedure. Is there anything else that you can add to help you be more focused when you study?
I think I definitely need to put my phone on do not disturb.
Okay. All right. So maybe that goes as soon as you can figure out whether it's before you start the decluttering or if it's after you start the decluttering, but let's add that to the sequence that you declutter, phone goes off. Because if you're using a playlist, it might be on your phone. So maybe it makes sense that after that music goes off and you're decluttered, that phone is on do not disturb, and maybe it's in a drawer or someplace like that. What about, I know I asked you for music with the decluttering and the clearing of the items. Are you someone that it's helpful you to have background music or background noise when you're studying, or is silence better for you?
Either white noise or silence, because the other stuff is too distracting.
Okay, all right. So maybe you play around with it. If you start with silence, see how that works, make a note of it, log it, or maybe you have white noise. There's so many different options. So maybe let's just start with silence and see how that works. I don't want to overwhelm you. What about being hydrated? 'Cause that can often, staying hydrated can often be very helpful.
Yeah, I usually will have my water in here, but then I find a lot that when I want to get into this routine and I sit down, okay, I'm gonna get started, and then, oh, I have to go to the bathroom. Oh, I'm
Okay,
hungry.
all right. Okay, so maybe drink earlier in the day, but notice that. But that's something that's really important, that you do notice that if you're interrupted going to the bathroom, so you're minimizing distractions, you're reducing, getting rid of interruptions. Let's also get into eating and food. Do you find the types of food you eat or when you eat or don't eat affects your studying and focus at all?
I think it affects me when I put it too much in. I've got to go eat something when I'm really even not that hungry, but
Okay.
it's hard to eat something because I don't eat three meals a day. I maybe
Mhm.
have dinner.
Okay. And but do you define it, if it sounds like you're fasting, do you find that impacts your studying at all? Is it just you think it does, or
I think maybe it does, but
okay.
really more of this internal, you really should eat, but I'm not hungry. But you should
Mhm.
before you start. It's just like my own
Okay.
internal.
Okay, so maybe before you start this process, you have some type of, you put fuel in your body. Maybe this also becomes, because
Yeah.
it may not be that the actual not eating affects you. It's more like the distraction, should I eat? So maybe So that becomes part of your routine or your procedure with this. Okay. So this, we've gone over a lot. I wouldn't say a lot. There's a number of items. I think let's start with this. Let's see. Is there any, do you feel like what we've just covered makes sense to you and is doable?
It does. It feels like I'm almost physically prepping myself so that my
Mm-hmm.
brain will sync.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Can you commit to between now and we're going to do the 24-hour, the check-in Monday through Friday? What will you commit to between now and tomorrow around this time in relationship to this? Sorry, what did you say?
To implement this routine that we just spoke
Okay.
about.
Okay. So you will do one of these sessions. You will test it out. Okay. All right. So are you ready for me to go on to the next person, or is there anything else in relationship to what we just talked about that you might want to cover with me?
Let me just ask real quick with the focus piece. Because I'm hoping that maybe by doing this should set me up to then it will be more natural and feel better to be focused for study by doing this.
Yeah, it's also trial and error because I asked you some questions on this and you're going to have to test it out and see if this is going to help you focus. It sounds like because I asked you things that this most likely will work for you, but let's test it out. And it may be you come back and say, okay, this worked out, and we might tweak it starting next week. But there's a lot of things that you said will help you focus, be more ready to focus, but let's test it out. Yeah, and I don't want to start with too much on this because we could go back and forth and have a list of 50 things. 50 things may overwhelm you and shut you down. So let's start with some basic things and maybe keep a note of it too. Like after you study, after you have your study session, and we go through the whole procedure, maybe part of that is logging it or journaling about what went well. So maybe do a little bit of journaling afterwards or thinking about it. Maybe you jot down if keywords or maybe you write a whole like page. It depends on you, whatever. But I'd say process and pay attention. This is an experiment. It's a lot of tweaking, paying attention. But it sounds like from what we covered, the focus, we identified things that can help you focus and maybe other things to take away that can also help you focus. So thank you so much, Angela, for being the first person. Thank you so much. This was week 1 of the ADHD coaching project. Our first featured member is Angela. Our next featured member that we will be releasing is Bridget. If you would like access to the entire first session, check out the link in the description. Also, make sure if you are not subscribed that you subscribe to this channel so you can listen to the rest of the ADHD coaching sessions. This is Tara McGillicuddy. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen.